welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. This is the Dr. Shabai Show, and on this show, we talk about feminism. We talk about how feminism has destroyed society as well as marriages and dating and families. So we also talk about hot topics that relates to the effects of feminism. So today I want to talk about why isn't paternity fraud a crime? And we're going to look at some videos, then we're going to come back and talk about it. The biggest story though is the one that just came out maybe yesterday, was from a man from Detroit. You really have to listen to this story because it is really shocking. But before we get started, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started.
It's a beautiful little baby.
Yes.
This little boy deserves to know who his father is.
You're
That
right.
he does.
He
I
does.
deserve to know too.
And yes, and if you are his father, you do deserve to know.
He also deserves, can I submit one more thing?
Absolutely.
The birth certificate. There's no dad's name on it. That's all I want today. And if my son's name is King Tidwell, he needs the man that named him King Tidwell to be in his life.
You didn't just pick the name King, you gave him his last name too.
But yet he's gonna deny my son?
I can
your
see that
actions.
hurts.
Denying is not the problem, Your Honor. It's
From
the
your
actions
actions.
of the way she's been acting,
Yes.
the things she do, and the men, the other
So wait a
men.
minute, what I want to understand quickly, you name the child
I gave her the name that I wanted my son to have.
because at that moment
And
you
she
thought,
put it on there. Exactly. Yes, Your Honor.
at that moment you thought the baby
Yeah.
was yours. Then later on you started to believe he was not
Yes.
because of what you heard.
No, what I've seen. Her
And what
actions.
you've seen. Okay, the only way we're gonna get down to the bottom of this is to get the result.
Move.
Yes.
Ron,
Ma'am.
these results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Lockridge versus Tidwell, when it comes to 10-month-old King Tidwell, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Tidwell, you are not his father.
Are you kidding me?
Messed up, man.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
From the bottom of my broken heart, Wallace Tidwell, I'm sorry.
When it comes to 2-year-old Messiah Cates, it has been determined by this court. Mr. G, you are not the father.
Told you so.
I'm sorry, Mr. G. I'm very sorry. I can see that hurt to hear. Can you tell the court what you're feeling in this moment?
Betrayed. This Lord. I just feel like dang though. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good dude, man. I don't deserve that. You feel me? He don't deserve that either though. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We can't rewind it. You feel me? I just move forward. I'm done with her though. I'ma still be a father to him though, regardless.
You know, watching the reaction of both of the men in the video is just really, really sad. And something has to be done. Paternity fraud is real. A woman knows when she has relations with more than one man in a time frame, she knows that there's a possibility that one of the other men could be the father, and she should be honest. Yeah, because I know a lot of women may be embarrassed because they may have had relations with, more than two people or three people, and they don't want anyone to know. But the DNA does not lie. And that's why I believe, it has to put your own personal feelings aside and think about the child and the father. In the first video, the young man did not sign the birth certificate. but he had doubt, but he thought that it was his. That's a smart move because once you sign that birth certificate, it doesn't matter what the DNA test says. You sign that birth certificate, that means that you are financially and legally responsible for that child. I had no idea about that until doing this research, but that's what a lot of young men have no idea. You know, when they go in that room and they're thinking their girlfriend having a baby and they're just going to sign it. And so the next video I want to show you is a story that happened in Detroit. And when you listen to it, your mouth is going to fall to the floor because if there ever has been a case that, that needs to really look at the paternity laws or whatever, this is the case because he was just about to get his check garnished maybe a week ago. So let's look at this video and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Legal drama. This after receiving a letter that he had fathered a child with a woman he'd never even met. Now vindication of sorts. It's a follow-up to a story I brought you earlier this year on his legal fight and what comes next.
She don't know me. How do you just put my name down? How do you just put anybody's names down? I don't know her, never seen her. Still to this day, haven't talked to her. And it just proved out that the baby has no ties to my name. Thankfully, the lady did bring the child in to get tested. And that's all I needed to happen.
This letter from friend of the court reads in part, Dear Mr. Smith, enclosed is a copy of the genetic test results, excluding you as the father.
Let's just set the record. I trust my husband because I know his character. Man of integrity.
I would like to say relief, but it's kind of like confirmation, really, because I already knew that I had no ties and no links to this child or this woman, and to have that letter come to my house, it was a little unnerving, but not from the standpoint of being caught up in something.
I mean, I'm gonna stop it for a second, but how many men does this happen to? I mean, this is the one that's on the news, but what about the ones that we've never heard of? This is so scary to me. I mean, even as a woman, I would want to change the laws so this doesn't happen to people. This is so unfair. So let's continue.
It was a little unnerving that, a letter like this could come to my house having no legitimacy to it.
We first brought you the story of D'Angelo Smith in late January when he presented some wild allegations against friend of the court in Berrien County. The initial letter sent to his home stated, a woman who we are not naming alleging him to be the father of her daughter, a child between the age of 1 and 2 years old.
She's a stripper from Detroit. We had a one-night stand at some hotel that we supposed to have been and went to, and this is a story that was told to me.
While playing the waiting game for the alleged mother to bring in the baby for a DNA sample, the school where D'Angelo Smith teaches received an inquiry for possible garnishment if things did not go in his favor.
Where it made it not something that was being alleged, now it's something that's being taken into action, and there's no paternity been established.
But clearly, these test results confirm that to no longer be the case.
With that being said, strong marriage or not, clean past or not, that's a very tough letter for anyone to receive.
Absolutely.
Without any proof.
Absolutely, it is. It is. The main things that they have to provide to the state of Michigan is a name and a birth date and where they live. That's easy information for someone to gather off of Google, off of Facebook, off of any kind of social media platform.
People who have checkered pasts, who have done things in the past, who have, stepped out and did things that was unbecoming of a real man, right? And so, but they've changed and they've cleaned up their act and they've gotten better, which all of us have the opportunity of doing or getting better. But a letter like this coming to that house, a man that has changed his ways, that has walked in a different direction, this letter could be absolutely devastating because of what you've done before.
We made several calls to lawmakers in Lansing who are familiar with this particular topic to get some answers.
It's very unfortunate, but paternity fraud is not a unique, unusual situation in Michigan.
Senator Jim Runstead tells me he's been pushing for new legislation on the matter during the past 8 years, saying right now there's no penalty for lying.
Senator, what was the opposition for not passing this kind of legislation?
Well, maybe it would hinder mothers who don't want to name a particular guy or they made a mistake, but you had to knowingly name the wrong person. It becomes emotional stuff.
Respectfully, to mandate that DNA testing for the child is conducted first before a letter is sent to someone's home alleging they may be the father of a child regarding a woman whom they have never met, doesn't that seem like common sense type of legislation?
I tell you, Joshua, the common sense goes out the window. I'd be more than happy to put that bill in, and I'm telling you, it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I'll guarantee it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I ran across this before.
And the only reason I believe that this woman came in was because of Fox 2. Fox 2 provided a platform where the word got out, and this word spread it like wildfire quickly to the point where the lady came in. Now, I asked the courts, the friend of the courts, about bringing her in. They said, well, we just have to wait until she comes in. But I thank God that Fox 2 provided a platform where the lady was able to come in, but everybody does not have that opportunity for Fox 2 to show up at their doorstep to help them out.
And he is 100% right. What about those men that we don't hear about? And so, like I said, a week before Fox 2 News, his check was about to be garnered. And I had no idea that all a woman needs is your name, which you can get anywhere, and your address, and what else is that? It's just some simple information that anybody can do some research and get. And you list that person as the person that's the father of your children, and then you pay. Then they put you on child support. This case right here is an example of how the system is broken. Our lawmakers, which is us who, vote them in, we really need to take a hard look at how the system is set up, because this is mind blowing. The only reason child support isn't coming out is because of the news station and social media has put this story all over the internet. And the young woman decided to come in and do what's right and do a DNA test. If she hadn't, the ending would be completely different. This is my video. I would love to hear what you think. Again, I want to thank everyone that has watched my video. I truly appreciate you. If you could, please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.